Okay, Song of Songs, starting from the beginning. This is another one of those I'm going to go through it all the way through this book in one day, one set of videos. This is a song, so it's clearly meant to be spoken or sung all at once. It tells a story. It tells a story from beginning to end. Like Ecclesiastes, this is not one of those books that I think you're supposed to completely immerse yourself in, like the Torah, and just constantly dwell on and meditate on. It's like Ecclesiastes, and that it's meant, I think, at least this is the way it comes across to me, it's meant to be kind of heard or sung in a full setting, sing the whole song. Like Ecclesiastes is like a sermon or like a lesson. A teacher is teaching you a lesson. The song is a song. So it's meant to be sung, it's meant to be performed, it's meant to be celebrated. Oh, and by the way, there's going to be a lot of different speakers. Okay, so the song is a song, and people are singing. You have different speakers are singing. Okay, you've got a woman speaking, you've got a man speaking, you've got the woman's friend speaking, and then you've got like the narrator speaking. He speaks a couple times. And at the very end of the book, you have a few lines on the woman's brothers. There is no dialogue. This is ancient Hebrew. We're talking about mid-10th century BC ancient Hebrew. There are no dialogue tags. There is no direct indication of the speaker changing in the middle of the song. I am following the notes that my English translation has written here about who the speakers are supposed to be. See those dark brown lines? Beloved, lover, friends. Okay, I am taking the translator's word for it that the way that you can identify the change of speakers in Hebrew is through the way they talk. Hebrew is a gendered language, and so when someone is speaking, whether they're speaking in the singular, masculine pronouns or singular feminine pronouns or plural, like that's how you identify the change in speaker. You don't get it by saying, he said, she said, he said, she said, they said, he said, whatever. That doesn't happen in Hebrew. You don't have quotation marks. Remember, this is ancient Hebrew. They didn't have punctuation. They didn't have quotation marks. Back in those days, they didn't even have vowels. And so you identify the change in speaker by the kind of words they use, singular, plural, masculine, feminine. And there are some verses where it is ambiguous. I am going to be taking the translator's word for it. For the most part, it's pretty obvious. Like I said, there are some verses where it's somewhat more questionable. But I'm going to be taking the translator's words for it. If you look at the bottom of your Bible, and here, it's down here, the notes down there, the footnotes, they'll tell you, let's see here. This is the way the footnote reads in my copy here. Primarily on the basis of the gender of the Hebrew pronouns, male and female speakers are indicated in the margins by the captions lover and beloved, respectively. So that's how they identify who's speaking. And there are a few parts that are plural because the young woman, the main woman, has friends that she's talking to and who talk back to her. And there's also a song or a narrator who speaks a couple times here and there. This is actually a book where the woman is like the main character. She speaks. She's the primary speaker. She has more lines than Solomon does, and she's speaking to her friends, and they're speaking back to her. So this is primarily her song. She's singing to her friends about her lover. He is in it. He does sing, but this is really her song more than. I mean, he wrote it. It's Solomon's Song of Songs, but she's actually kind of like the main character in this book. Okay, so here we go. Solomon's Song of Song, or the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's finest song. The beloved. This is the woman. This is the woman speaking here. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Now she's speaking, she said about him. A moment ago she was talking about him as him. Now she's talking about him as you. For your love is more delightful than wine. Pleasing is the fragrance of your perfumes. Your name is like perfume poured out. No wonder the maidens love you. Take me away with you. Let us hurry. Let the king bring me into his chambers. This is a king. That's identified what king it is. It says Solomon, Song of Songs, and we're going to identify the king as Solomon later. But it is a king. Her lover is a king. Here are her friends speaking. We, so there's a plural form here now, we rejoice and delight in you. There's a footnote here which says the Hebrew is masculine singular. So the one they're delighting in here is the man. We rejoice and delight in you. We will praise your love more than wine. Now the woman is speaking again, singular, beloved. How right they are to adore you. Dark am I, yet lovely. O daughters of Jerusalem, so she's talking to the other women here. How dark am I, yet lovely, O daughters of Jerusalem. Dark like the tents of Kedar, like the tent curtains of Solomon, or Salma. Do not stare at me because I am dark, because I am darkened by the sun. My mother's sons were angry, that's her brothers, of course, were angry with me. They made me take care of the vineyards. My own vineyard, she's talking about herself in this case, I have neglected. So she's comparing her, Shulamith, the woman, the girl, is going to be referred to or compared to as a garden a lot. Again, there's a lot of garden imagery in this song, and she, herself, is going to compare herself and be compared to a garden or a vineyard. So she had brothers, and we actually read, they actually speak at the very end of the song. We're going to go back to this. We're going to go back to this at the very end of the song. So she had brothers who made her work the fields. Doing that made her skin dark. So she is not upper class noble. She is not of noble birth. That's how we can rule this out. This woman is not the Egyptian princess that Solomon married. This is someone else. Who knows? Is it Abishag from 1 Kings? Or is it some other character? Who knows? Okay, really we have no idea. We'll ask Solomon when we get there if he's there. Okay, we have no idea. But whoever this is not a noble woman by birth. Okay, she did not have noble upbringings. She was a worker. She was a field worker in her youth. And that made her dark. So she does not have the beautiful complexion that you might expect, or I should say the kind of complexion that you might expect a noble woman to have. One who stays inside in the shade all her life and is protected from the sun. She was not protected from the sun. She was out in the sun working as a child and as a girl. I'm not sure how long. So anyway, my mother's sons, her brothers, were angry with me, and they made me take care of the vineyards. My own vineyard, her own body, I have neglected. Tell me, you whom I love, excuse me, where you graze your flock, and where you rest your sheep at midday. So she wants to rest in his protection, in his shade. Why should I be like a veiled woman beside the flocks of your friends? Now in that imagery, she's going back to Tamar from Genesis 38. If you remember the story of Judah and Tamar, Tamar was married to Judah's son, and he died without having any kids, having any sons. So then she was given to his surviving brother, and he died also without producing any sons. She was supposed to be given to the next surviving brother, but he was too young at the time. And then when he grew into maturity, Judah, the father, withheld him from Tamar. So Tamar didn't have any sons. She didn't have anyone or husband at this point. And so she didn't have anyone to take care of her. So to get Judah to do what he was supposed to do, she veiled herself to act like a prostitute to have sex with him. And became pregnant that way. And then was found out to be pregnant. And was going to be burned because she had acted dishonorably and brought shame to Judah. And then she said here, she had taken when she had sex with him, she had taken the collateral of his staff, I think it was, in his cloak. And when she was being brought to be burned, she said, here, these are the things that belong to the man I had sex with, and it was Judah's. And so she got what she needed. She got what she was supposed to have through deception by acting like a prostitute. And so she here, the girl in this story, is saying, why should I have to do that? I need your protection. I want your rest and shade. Why should I have to do that to get what I'm entitled to get from you? So now the friends are speaking. If you do not know, so she's asking where Solomon's sheep are. If you do not know, most beautiful of women, follow the tracks of the sheep, and graze your young goats by the tents of the shepherd. Now the man is speaking. I liken you, my darling, to a mare, harnessed to one of the chariots of Pharaoh. Now the chariot teams of Pharaoh were stallions. So this is a mare in the company of a bunch of stallions. So she's going to be causing a stir, isn't she? They're going to, all those stallions are going to be fighting and trying their hardest to get to this mare. That's the sort of effect that this woman has on men. I liken you, my darling, to a mare harnessed to one of the chariots of Pharaoh. Your cheeks are beautiful with earrings, your neck with strings of jewels. We will make you earrings of gold, studded with silver. The woman is speaking. While the king was at his table, my perfume spread its fragrance. My lover is to me a sachet of myrrh resting between my breasts. My lover is to me a cluster of henna blossoms from the vineyards of En-gedi. That's an oasis in the desert. So he is a refuge and an oasis to her in the desert, in the wilderness. The man is speaking. How beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. Your eyes are doves. In the ancient world, the dove was the messenger of love. So her eyes are sending him signals of love. She's speaking. How handsome you are, my lover. Oh, how charming. And our bed is verdant. He speaks. The beams of our house are cedars. Our rafters are firs. She's speaking. I am a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. She's going to have a lot of this. She's going to be compared to a lily several times over, or a flower. I mean, there's a lot of garden imagery. And she herself is compared to a garden or a vineyard. And we're going to be comparing her to a flower a lot in this song. He speaks. Like a lily among thorns is my darling among the maidens. So as beautiful as those maidens are, to him, to this guy, they're basically thorns compared to his woman, his special, his beloved. The beloved is speaking. Like an apple tree among the trees of the forest is my lover among the young men. I delight to sit in his shade, and his fruit is sweet to my taste. So there's a lot of that garden imagery again. He has taken me to the banquet hall, and his banner over me is love. Strengthen me with raisins, refresh me with apples, for I am faint with love. His left arm is under my head, so she's resting up against him, and his right arm embraces me. Daughters of Jerusalem, so she's speaking to her friends again here, I charge you, by the gazelles and by the does of the field, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. We're going to hear that admonition given by her to her friends several times in this poem. It kind of marks the end of a refrain. This is a song, so it does have verses. Okay, this is like the end of the first refrain there, and she's going to say that to her friends a couple different times, and each time it marks the end of a refrain, or the end of a stanza, or the end of a block of thought. So we'll go ahead and make a new video now. That was the first act. That was the first part. We have set the stage between the man, the woman, and the woman's friends and where they are.